Welcome to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton, and welcome to another Opposition View show where we are looking ahead to our next game. We're back at Goodison, an empty Goodison, albeit, to host Leicester City. And talking ahead to this weekend's game, we've got the return of Lee Chapman, a Leicester fanatic. He's got his own channel, Chappy TV, as well as being a Leicester Fan TV regular as well.
Yeah.
Lee is back for his second Toffee Blues cap of the season. And it's always a good show where Chappy is concerned. So we're looking forward to this one. Very warm welcome back, Lee. It's been a good 7 months since you were last on with us. How are you doing, mate?
Yeah, I'm good personally. I mean, I've broke my foot, mate. I'm on crutches right now.
Hey, Joe. That's right, yeah.
Yeah. So that's an interesting one for maybe another time. But Leicester, oh man, where do we go? Where do we start? We're third in the Prem, and we were in the FA Cup quarters, pushing for a Wembley spot. And since yesterday, that's gone to pot again for the second time running, knocked out by Chelsea. I don't think we've ever beat Chelsea in the FA Cup, ever, I don't think.
They have a real knack for knocking you guys off the cup, don't they?
Yeah, they do. Oh, man. Anyway, let's move on to the Premier League itself, because that's the most important part. Is holding on to third place, because it's a Champions League spot, and it means a lot to Leicester, I think, financially as well, because there's a lot of money involved in the Champions League. I think we received about just under 100 mil in net profit for the last time we were in there. So it's a lot of money, and the club's investing money as well. The club's putting 100 million into a new training facility. So you've probably seen it. So we need to get some money back from that as well. So to lose Champions League spot, I'm going to be a bit ticked off, because right now, on the form table, mate, since January, we are 12th. We're 12th in the table in form table. If you look at the rest of them, they're still up there. On the form table, Man United are up there, Wolves are still up there, and Chelsea have got that third place.
Yeah, it is a bit concerning. We always start on this show with the recent form. Like you say, you were knocked out of the cup yesterday by Chelsea, but before that, you had 2 draws with Watford and Brighton, which
shocking.
You can't be thrilled with that, considering the 15th and 16th, respectively.
Shocking, mate. We've got no penetration. We just can't seem to penetrate a defence at all now. We're just going sideways. You can have as much ticky-tacky finesse as you want, but the only part of the game that matters is the goals, mate, and we're not scoring. We've got 1 in 4 since we've been back after the pandemic. We've got 1 goal. It's not good enough.
What would you put that down to?
There's a lack of drive up top. We don't seem to have any idea at all. Jamie Vardy's isolated. We can't seem to find him. I think he's had about maybe 5, 10, somewhere between 5 and 10 touches since he's been back. That's it.
That's insane. I mean,
and he's a top goal scorer in the Premier League. You explain to me.
Well, the point I'm going to make, this is a pessimistic Everton fan speaking here. You basically, Vardy's a brilliant goal scorer, and he hasn't scored a goal for Leicester for a while. He's been stuck on 99 goals for ages, and there's only one team you want to play when you need to break that duck.
That's you. Is that what you're saying?
Precisely that. We've done it for years with players who've been maybe underperforming and not getting the goals. But trust me, Vardy will probably get one on Wednesday. So yeah, don't be too down about that. We'll definitely give you a couple of opportunities to put that to bed. But on that side of things, Everton have actually been pretty good defensively. Since we've come back, it's 2 clean sheets, which suggests we might be able to shut you out. But obviously, this is Everton we're talking about. Something bad's got to happen at some point.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at the previous fixtures between ourselves in 2019, I think we knocked you out in the League Cup on penalties, wasn't it?
That's right, yeah. I forgot about that.
And we've had 2 fixtures in the Prem, both wins for Leicester, home and away, 2-1 and a 1-0 away.
That's right, yeah.
So if you go on the previous results, I think Leicester might edge it. But if you go on form, I don't think so.
It's interesting though, because I mean, despite the fact that we've got a win and a draw to our name, it was a very good draw against Liverpool. Obviously, you've won the league now.
Very strong.
But also, it was a narrow 1-0 win over the bottom team, Norwich City. So, and neither of the performances were spellbinding by any means. We pretty much ground them both out I
Yeah,
mean,
but didn't Norwich do the double on Man City this season?
did they? I know they beat them once. I know that.
I'm not sure. I'm sure that they beat Man City though, regardless. So I mean, football's football sometimes. It's unpredictable sometimes.
Strange things happen, and I suppose the good thing for Everton is that we are getting results while not necessarily playing great. So it's not always bad, but we would like to see us be a bit more comprehensive in the way we're going about our business.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you guys, I can understand what you guys have watched all three of your games, and they haven't necessarily been the most entertaining games.
It's not. It's been difficult because I've been doing the live watch along shows on my own personal. And when you're live for about 2.5, nearly 3 hours,
You
and
want to
you've
be
not,
entertained.
yeah, and you've not got a lot to talk about. It's difficult. It's a difficult show. It's a difficult show to do. You end up talking about anything else but the game. It's
Yeah, I think
fucking mad.
we witnessed that during our last game against Norwich when I think this BBC commentator decided to give us all a history lesson on like the famous forefathers of Norwich or something because we were boring them that much. I think that says all you need to know about our last performance. I think.
Yeah. How do you think you'll line up
Uh,
for the
I
game
I
Wednesday?
reckon we'll be going with it'll be the usual 4-4-2, which
4-4-2. Yeah.
yeah I think it'll be pretty much the same as what we put out against Norwich. Because bear in mind we have got a bit of a longer rest because we weren't in the cup.
I'm just trying to have a look at the lineup now that you had for Norwich, so I've got an idea.
It was Pickford in goal,
Yeah,
Coleman,
yeah.
Holgate, Keane, and Dean,
Egan,
and then I think
Ioba, Gomez, Davies, but yeah, Bernard, yeah, Rickles. Yeah, I love your number 7. I love him.
Richarlison.
I love him. Yeah, I think he's awesome.
Yeah, no, he's quality. I think you're
How old is he?
23. He's a
Yeah,
year younger than me.
he's got plenty of time to get better as well. He's
Yeah, and
Brazilian, isn't he?
he is Brazilian. He only costs 50 million, and we think he's fucking brilliant.
He is, mate. Honestly, I think he's your next big thing. I think.
Well, we've got. I think that whole team that you read out there. I think there might be one change. There's Jibril Sidibe, who's a right back by trade, but we've often used him as a right mid.
Yeah.
So I think he might come back in, and I think Alex Iwobi played very well in the Norwich game. So I think Bernard might drop to the bench. But
Who's your top goal scorer?
Richarlison and Calvert-Lewin both have 13 or 14, I think.
Okay. Yeah, I think Leicester will probably line up sort of similar to probably today, to be fair, because Maddison's took an injury, so I think there will be no Madders. But Dennis Pratt and Tielemans worked well in the first half. I don't know why Brendan changed it, because in the second half he decided to go with more of a defensive play. I don't understand why he brought Chowdhury on, because we already had Ndidi, and they're both similar sort of players. And that's when we seem to lose our tempo. We just lost our tempo.
You definitely did. I thought you were pretty decent in the first half.
We were, and it worked well because Tielemans hasn't been playing very well. To be fair, he's been off for quite a while.
Okay, there we go. There's a goal against Everton for you right there.
What's that?
Tielemans will get one against Everton as well.
He's been off. He's been off for quite some time. Fans don't see this because obviously you don't watch your other teams for 90 minutes. You only watch your own, really, don't you? You see the highlights of everyone else. Tielemans has been off. He's been gassed. His face has been red. Cheeks been He's been blowing. Honestly, I don't know if it's a fitness thing or what, but he's not been great. The star man from Belgium hasn't been great. But when his wingman Dennis Pratt's on. Obviously, they both played together in Belgium, Belgium international. They click. And yesterday, you seen it. Tielemans was a better player yesterday. But as soon as Pratt come off, disappeared.
So he hooked Pratt for Chowdhury, didn't he? Half time.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. And it just changed everything in that middle. We lost creativity and spark, and it was gone.
Yeah, I think that's a bizarre decision on Brendan's part there.
Same.
But I think one thing that I was going to suggest, I think it was talking about the way we were going to line up. How would you see personnel-wise? Who do you think it'll be in your lineup going into the Wednesday game?
Yeah, like I say, it's going to be the same lineup roughly as what we had yesterday. You're going to see James Justin on the right. You're going to see Chilwell on the left. Soyuncu and Evans in at the back. There's no injuries there. I think probably Harvey Barnes because he's that kind of player that you can't really drop. I don't know if it's going to be Perez or Michael Brighton because Perez I don't think he's a winger. I really don't. He's out of position. He doesn't look like a winger. Maybe give him a creative space as a number 10 role. Give him the Maddison shirt for the day and give him a test. I don't know.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, he gave us a lot of grief playing for Newcastle in that position last season.
That's what I mean. So it's worth a shout, isn't it? Sitting behind Vardy and giving Jamie Vardy almost like a Shinji Okazaki style player next to him.
Well, that's exactly what I was about to suggest, because the season you won the league, you sort of had a 4-4-2 loosely, didn't you? And I think that maybe it's time to go back to basics and do what won you the league.
Yeah, I don't think Brendan will, though. Brendan's very set on this 4-1.
He's a stubborn manager sometimes, Brendan, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a 4-1-4-1 kind of guy at the minute. That's his favourite formation. I just hope he does try something different and put Perez maybe sitting behind Vars, because Vars was he was a better striker with Shinji Okazaki next to him.
Absolutely.
He really was.
I love watching those two play together. It was even the year after you won the league and you didn't do quite as well. I still used to love watching those two play together. It's a shame really that you haven't sort of stuck with the 4-4-2. I think we're probably the only side in the league right now who use it.
It's a traditional style, isn't it? But I think we was caught out, to be fair. The 4-4-2 was found out. The counter-attacking style was caught out in that 2016-17 season. And you can see where we finished in the Premier League and what happened to Claudio Ranieri. It was found out. So it had to change. And it did over time. It's changed. Claude Puel came in and I never liked his decisions, but we played sideways football. But he got the possession game working, because we're better now at holding the ball and keeping possession. We're much better than we were. And I think that's for the groundwork from him.
So I think you are a lot better in possession than you were in the season where you won the league. But it's about purpose as well. You need to be scoring those goals.
What I said at the start, it's not just about possession and all this fancy play and players that have got a little bit of a shimmy here and there. That don't mean nothing. The goals are what's counting, and right now we ain't counting.
Yeah, I think you probably will see a few personnel changes as well. I think that was the next thing I was going to touch on, actually, is that you guys, of course, played an FA Cup tie yesterday.
Yeah.
Whereas we haven't played since last Wednesday against Norwich. So we have this whole week off to sort of get rest and recovery. How do you think that'll affect the game at all?
It can do, can't it? It can do. I mean, that
especially at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that puts pressure on as well, doesn't it? Really, a break's always nice, but sometimes it works in the opposite way, doesn't it? You know, you can become a little slow and sluggish. It's difficult because of the way that everything is with the pandemic that happened and how long we've had off. How fit are these players? How fit are these players?
It's a big factor in every game we've watched so far since the Premier League resumed. It's difficult to say. How do you think Leicester are doing fitness wise in comparison to a lot of the other Premier League teams?
I don't think that we've got as much gas in the tank as we did have before this pandemic. We seemed to be very, very fast. Mind you, yesterday we pressed quite high, but I think that was more to tactically than just speed. I think we've lost a little bit of gas. I really do. What about yourselves? What about yourselves?
Well, that's actually the other way round with us. We are usually notoriously one of the least physically fit sides in the league, but since we've come back, we seem to be one of the teams with more lasting power, to be honest. We seem to be seeing it out better towards the end of the games. And like a lot of sides, you know, like even when we were winning against Norwich and they were trying to put pressure on us, we seemed to be holding out pretty well. We grew into a game against Liverpool later on, which says a lot, I think, because they're a very fit side. To be able to see that, I also think that showed a lot. I think it must be something Carlo Ancelotti's working on, like behind the scenes, to get this team fitter, because we were atrocious on that front before the lockdown.
Yeah, well, I got a question for you then.
Go ahead.
What's the ideal finish for you guys this season?
Ooh, eighth. Again.
I
think that's depending on how the Man City situation goes, that could get us into Europe, and it's the same as last year, which would be acceptable considering the way we started this season and the managerial change. I think the bare minimum has to be finishing the top half. If we finish in the bottom half, it's a disgrace.
Yeah.
Even with the start of the season, considering what the ambitions of the club are, I think no one will be happy with that.
Well, you're an established top 10 side. You always have been, regardless. I think at Everton. But let's be realistic here. You've got Leicester, Spurs, and Wolves in your last remaining fixtures. I think they're obviously your three toughest fixtures. Out of all of the fixtures, how many points do you think you can get? You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games.
24. No, not really.
Love it. Hey, you can be optimistic on these channels.
Yeah, you didn't think Everton fans had an optimistic bone in the body, but there you go.
No, you've got to be optimistic, ain't you? It's football and it's passion.
No, I'll probably say we should probably get about 12 to 15 points there, which would be okay. I think we'd be pretty happy with that.
You could creep still into the Europa spot, can't you?
We still could, yeah. It'd take a lot of sort of things going our way, which isn't very common when you're an Everton fan, believe it or not. But yeah, we could do it. It's just a big ask. We're only about 6 points off the top. I think we're 6 points off 7th, I think so.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I've just seen the table a minute ago, yeah.
In 8 games, I think we could pull it back, but it's going to take a lot of not just us doing well, but other teams slipping up as well. So it's not completely in our hands, and that's the most frustrating thing.
Well, the thing is, we've got Arsenal, we've got Tottenham, and we've got Man United still to play.
Man United, that's going to be a crucial game.
Last game of the season.
Yeah, that could be a decider for the top 4.
Yeah, for some reason though, the Spurs fixtures still got a TBD on it to be confirmed date-wise. I don't know why.
When are you playing Spurs?
It's the game before the Man United one, so it's the last but one, and still no date given for it for some reason. I don't know why.
Oh, the fixture calendar hasn't been friendly to you, there, has it?
No. But it's going to be quite difficult. I think the 2 last games being Spurs and Man United. That's going to be the deciding factor for Leicester's European dream.
I think that's the interesting part for us. We were 7th at the end of February, but we had Arsenal, Man United, and Chelsea, and only got 1 point out of those.
Yeah, tough.
Yeah.
Tough.
So and then we went from 7th to 12th in those 3 games, and that's how tight the league is.
Yeah.
And now it's out of our hands again. That's the frustrating part, especially considering those 3 sides weren't far away from us at the time. And I think that's quite costly for us. It could be costly for you guys as well, because Chelsea wiped the floor with us in the game we played against those guys.
Well, that's the thing you're saying. It's about being wiped out. I mean, that's what happened kind of to us after we beat you in, I think it was the League Cup that we were talking about a minute ago. The next fixture we had was Man City. And that was just before Christmas. It was the 21st of December, and we got battered 3-1. And then we went Boxing Day against Liverpool. And we all know that
was. Yeah.
They absolutely paced it. We didn't just get beat. They absolutely pissed all over us.
To be fair, they were doing that to everybody. They did it to
us. I know, but we were second in the table, weren't we, at the time?
Possibly, yeah. I think you were, yeah.
And we were the biggest contenders after,
That's
next
right,
round.
yeah.
So it was a hyped up game, and they slapped our arse red.
Literally.
And since then, I don't think we've performed all that well. Okay, we beat West Ham. I think we beat Newcastle after that. But from January onwards, like I say, we've not been great.
It's interesting to see. What do you think's the reason behind that? Because obviously we can talk about the lockdown, but if you weren't in fantastic form before the lockdown either, what was the sort of factor in that sort of saw your form tail off?
I'm not sure. We got a revenge against Villa because they put us out of the League Cup, and we got a bit of a revenge in the Prem. But other than that, it's been pants. Man City beat us again. I think 1-0. I think Norwich beat us. That you've got to play.
We've beaten Norwich.
Oh, sorry, yeah, you beat Norwich.
We beat those the other last week.
Sorry, yeah, you beat Norwich, but Norwich beat us, so you've got that to work off.
Yeah, well, it always goes round in circles, doesn't it? So you just never know.
Yeah, drew Chelsea, drew Wolves, drew with Watford, drew with Brighton. I don't know, mate.
It doesn't sound brilliant, but if you ever need a team to get you back on track, you know, you've got to play.
I'm not being negative because I don't want this to go out on the Leicester Fan TV side and think I'm being negative. I'm saying how it is. That's how it is. That's the results. Results don't lie.
Yeah, laid bare. That is pretty unimpressive, especially considering you're pushing for top 4.
Yeah, I think it's 1 win in 9 games now. I think.
But I think as an Everton fan, I can tell you a little bit of a story about that. When in 2005 we finished top 4, we were actually very, very similar seasons. Actually, we were second at Christmas that year, and had an atrocious second half of the season, and we finished 4th with 3 points to spare.
Wow!
So
on a minus goal difference.
On -1 goal difference because we got beat 7-0 off Arsenal. Yeah, so you know, it's no matter how bad you play, you can still get over the line, and you know, history might repeat itself on that front for you.
Yeah, I've seen some fans saying though that even if we do get Champions League, we'll get battered in Champions League. So why would we want to even go to it? It's like, what do fans want?
You know, you want to get in the Champions League, even if you do get battered, you get the money.
Well, yeah, and it's more exposure, TV exposure, get bigger names on the biggest stage of them all, can't you?
Exactly, it's the golden ticket, really, isn't it? You need to
hold on to your players as well, don't you?
That's it. Yeah. Well, that's crucial especially for a side like Everton. We're trying to build a team. You need to get at least in the Europa League, but certainly the Champions League is a massive boost.
Okay, one last segment I think we should do. I like doing this with the away fans. Is a player swap.
Player swap. Oh yeah, we always do a player swap on this one as well.
There you go. I think we all like doing this. So,
go on. Who would you go with?
I've already said my man.
Richarlison.
You know I'm going with
Richarlison. Could you imagine Richarlison and Jamie Vardy front 2?
Mate, the pace.
Be the dream, that.
Yeah.
Well, if you've seen any of Everton's performances of late, you'll have seen that our defensive line has been very good. Pickford's improved. The 2 strikers are great, but our midfield is disastrously bad. We're lacking in wingers, but to be fair, I think so are you guys to an extent.
Yeah, we desperately need a winger. Desperately.
But if there's any player who could improve our team straight away from you guys, it's Wilfred Ndidi.
I knew you were going to say it.
We'd have him in a heartbeat.
Yeah. He's not as good as Kante, I don't think, and what Kante does, but I think as an all-around player, I think he's a bit better.
Yeah, I think I referred to Wilfred Ndidi as, of course, we had Idrissa Gana Gueye in that role until last year, and then he went to PSG.
Yeah.
And literally, I think it was on the last show I filmed for our channel the other day, I referred to Ndidi as Idrissa Gana Gueye on steroids.
Oh, mate, he's so good. But he's got aerial threat to him as well because he's a big lad. And
that's exactly what I mean. He's
just all around.
He's more physical. He's a fantastic defensive midfielder.
Yeah.
And
he took Kante out a couple of times yesterday in the cup clash.
Yeah,
so that was quite good to see.
That's a clash of the Titans, that one, isn't it?
Yeah. What a play. He's only 25 as well, so he's got a long way to go. I think he's 20. Might be 23 actually. I'm not sure.
He wasn't old when you bought him. He was very young when you brought him in. If I remember rightly, his debut was knocking us out the FA Cup.
He's 23. He's 23.
Yeah, I think he was. His first game for us was against us. I think knocked us out the FA Cup in 2017.
Oh, that goal. Yeah, he don't score many though. I've got to say he's not a goal scorer.
No, I don't think he scored in that game, but he just tore our midfield apart.
With you.
Yeah, but he's a very, very good player. He's probably my favourite defensive mid in the league.
Yeah, Nigerian international as well.
Quality, but honestly, I think he's exactly what we're lacking in our team. We need a workhorse midfielder with a bit of physicality in the middle of the park, and
that wins the ball back and gives you that opportunity to break away, sort of thing.
Precisely that. If we have that, then we could be in with a good chance of doing well next season. But it's a very big ask.
I think he's the next player to leave Leicester outside of probably the Ben Chilwells.
Where can you see him going?
Wherever a big team comes knocking, because I think they're all going to come knocking for Ndidi. I really do.
I can see maybe a Man City if Fernandinho goes or something like that.
Maybe outside the Prem. like you said.
I think that's the best thing you can do. If you're going to lose your best players, don't lose them to a Premier League team. I think that's what Everton have tried to do of late. I think selling Idrissa Gueye to Paris rather than maybe to a Man United or a Man City.
Yeah, because I still hate seeing Riyad Mahrez in a Man City shirt. I hate it to this day.
That's. I mean, I think he's really improved for them this season. I thought he was going to be a flop, but
phenomenal player.
Yeah, he's a very good player. But yeah, I can see what you mean. The best thing you can do if you are resigned to losing a top player, you're best to sell them abroad.
Yeah. Oh, well, there you go. Ndidi. I knew you were going to say that because that's every fan channel says the same thing. Ndidi or Madison usually.
I think it depends what team you're dealing with, but we're definitely a team who's lacking that big midfield workhorse. And if anyone could do that job, I don't think anyone in the league can do it as good as Wilfred Ndidi. So it was always going to be that.
Okay, James. Score predictions for the game for Wednesday.
Score prediction. Oof.
Let's go.
I think
I'll fire away first. I'm going to go with a shocking Leicester win. The first win of the pandemic. I'm going to go with a Leicester 1-0.
And Jamie Vardy's going to get it and break his duck.
Or Galatis to the no away fans. Sorry, to the home fans.
What he's going to cup his ears to the Skype cameras.
He is a rattler, and he loves rattling the fans.
I know maybe that's why he's not doing so well, because he's got no one to feed.
Maybe that's what it is. There you go. He needs the 12th man, regardless of what side it is. He needs the 12th
exactly.
man.
He just needs to rattle somebody.
Oh dear.
Yeah, my prediction would be. I'm going to be optimistic. I'm going to say we win 1-0. I think we're not a high-scoring team at the moment, but the defence has been decent. I'm gonna say 1-0. Oh no, I'm gonna say 2-1 because it's almost a given that Vardy's gonna get that goal. So I'm gonna go with a 2-1 win.
Defensively, if you're strong, we won't get through. We can't find a way through. We've got nothing. Just got nothing to break you down. So just stay strong at the back. And that's it. You'll win.
And Vardy will still get that goal, even no matter how strong we are at the back.
Well, we haven't got any aerial threat either because we've got no set man up top, like target man, like set pieces. You know, we lost Harry Maguire. We replaced him with a cracking defender in Soyuncu, but I don't think we've got anything up top for aerial threat in set pieces. So we're flat on that as well.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. I mean, we've really improved defending set pieces anyway, so that's a good sign for us. We're a tough side to break down, but if you can do it, it's a massive boost for you to get back on track.
We'll see. I hope so. I really do.
Now, of course, on our show, we always end with a light-hearted and completely and utterly irrelevant question to football. And I think we asked you last time when you come on about your favourite films. We're going to ask you this time: pineapple on a pizza, yay or nay?
Oh.
This is going to make it either very popular or not, isn't it?
Oh, God. This is like the 50-50 split, isn't it, with fans? Because regardless of what you say, someone's going to have you. Someone's
going to be upset. This is the beauty of it. You can't please everyone.
No. Well, I'm a vegetarian now, so there's no ham for me anyway. So there you go. So I wouldn't have just pineapple on a pizza, so it's a no from me.
There you go. That's a nice logical way. It's better than nah, I don't have.
I got out of it, you see.
Yeah, you dug yourself out of a hole brilliantly there, and you know if your team can do the same on Wednesday, you know that's it. Maybe you're setting a bit of a precedent there for your sake.
There you go.
There we have it, guys. That's the end of the opposition view with Lee. As always, like I said, it's always a good show when Lee comes to town, and let us know what you thought about the performances from both teams so far. How you think the game's going to pan out in the build-up to it on Wednesday. All eyes turn to that game now. It's the 6 o'clock kickoff on a Wednesday evening, just in the midst of this insane football calendar that we've got at the moment. So definitely keep your eyes peeled for that on Wednesday night and check out all our great content in the build-up and beyond. Get over to Chappy TV as well.
Yeah, I'm going to be live on 6 o'clock. I'm going to be live on Wednesday doing the live watch-along. So if you want to watch me painfully watch Leicester try and break you down, be my guest and hop over.
I mean, that'd be an interesting sight for sure. I mean, God forbid if I ever did one of those, it would be so depressing. So,
yeah, maybe I should eat one of them ham and pineapple pizzas that you're talking about. Maybe if you guys score.
There you go. Well, remember when Gary Lineker said he'd go naked if you're won the league. Look what happened there.
Should line up some shots.
There you go. Yeah. Well, that's Jamie. The Vardy party's back.
Oh no.
Yeah, so definitely, guys, get on Chappy TV, and if you want to watch us live, watch along with the game, by all means, do that.
Yeah.
And Everton fans out there, get onto Leicester Fan TV as well. Some brilliant content on there, and this show will be on there as well, so you can see Chappy do his thing there as well. In particular, give Chappy a follow on Twitter while you're at it. We'll have his Twitter handle below him on the screen as we speak. So definitely give that a follow. And as always, guys, give the video a like on the Toffee Blues, comment, and subscribe to the Toffee Blues as well. All that's left to say is thanks, Lee, once again for coming on the show. It's always a good time when Lee's in town, like I say.
It's all pleasure, mate. All good.
Absolutely brilliant. And thank you guys for tuning in on the Toffee Blues.